How do your daily struggles actually connect to your higher purpose? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a really profound spiritual educational overview on the nature of the soul, how soul growth actually happens, and the fascinating field of spiritual energetics. We're breaking down the transformative teachings of Mahala D. Bacon, THBD. If you've ever found yourself wondering how to practically align your everyday life with universal energy, well, you're in the right place. We're going to map out exactly how the soul evolves using her beautifully structured framework. We so often think of our emotions as just like neurological events, right? Or maybe just the frustrating result of getting cut off in traffic. But Reverend Mahala completely reframes this. She teaches that our emotions, our energetic vibrations, they're literally a direct line of communication between the cosmos and the human soul. When you feel a deep resonance, a sudden wave of peace, or even a restless discomfort, that isn't just some random mood. That is the voice of the spirit, actively offering you guidance. It's a completely different and, honestly, a profoundly empowering way to look at your own internal world. And before we really unpack the mechanics of all this soul growth, it's super important to understand the grounded, real-world foundation behind these teachings. Reverend Mahala isn't just dealing in abstract philosophy here. She's an international spiritual teacher and a true visionary pioneer who's led major organizations. We're talking president of the Independent Spiritualist Association and CEO of the United Spiritual Council of Nations. Her teachings aren't just theory. They've been tested and used to build actual, real-world spiritual communities on a global scale. She expertly weaves faith and spiritual law together for real people who are just navigating modern life. That grounded leadership translates directly into how she defines spiritual energetics. It rests on three absolutely vital pillars: science, spirit, and service. So, spiritual energetics isn't just about sitting around in passive meditation. It's the active study of spiritual energy and its transformative phases. It's this conscious alignment with universal energy that brings sacred wholeness to the soul. I just love that phrase, holistic tapestry of healing. It really implies that understanding your spiritual energy requires engaging your mind through science, your heart through spirit, and your actions through service. It's the whole shebang, a fully integrated way of living. This holistic approach brilliantly captures her spiritual, not churchy philosophy. Rather than getting trapped behind rigid, dogmatic walls that just divide us, this embraces a truly universal spirituality, one that's focused entirely on the Christ light within. Reverend Mahala's approach is incredibly uplifting because it zeroes in on our shared divine connection instead of the rules that keep different traditions separate. It's essentially an open invitation. Literally, no matter your culture or specific background, this teaching suggests that the divine spark already exists within you, just waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. So, what does this actually mean for you personally? Well, soul evolution strictly requires taking personal accountability and recognizing your own motives and choices. You simply cannot outsource your soul's growth. Taking accountability is basically the soul making a bold declaration: I am ready to grow. When we finally stop blaming our circumstances or pointing fingers at everybody else for our emotional state, we step into our own power. Reverend Mahala emphasizes that soul growth is inextricably linked to this kind of radical self-awareness. It's about looking at your daily actions and genuinely asking, okay, what is my true motive here? That level of honesty, that's the real catalyst for genuine spiritual evolution. And once we stop pointing fingers, our daily challenges transform into actual stepping stones. The soul matures through a very specific, practical, three-part progression. Step 1 requires embracing truth with love. So, facing reality with compassion for yourself and others instead of harsh judgment. Step 2 is about recognizing those choices and taking that accountability we just talked about. And finally, Step 3 turns those challenges into stepping stones. In this framework, the obstacles in your life aren't punishments. No way. They are precisely the curriculum your soul needs to evolve. By actively engaging these three steps, we align perfectly with the transformative phases of spiritual energetics. I have to say, I absolutely love this next concept because it shifts our entire focus from fixing ourselves to simply remembering our inherent divine completeness. It's a subtle shift, but it is massive. Think about how many of us go through life feeling like we're broken, right? Constantly searching for that missing puzzle piece that's going to finally make us whole. But Reverend Mahala's teachings remind us that in the realm of spirit, we are already whole. You don't have to earn your divine nature. You just have to recognize it. Healing isn't about adding something to yourself that you lack. It's about peeling back those layers of dogma, fear, and ego to reveal the sacred wholeness that's literally been there all along. Now, of course, peeling back those layers and facing the hard truth of our motives isn't always a walk in the park. To fuel this lifelong journey, Reverend Mahala redefines courage. It isn't just about bravery in the face of fear. It is the soul's resilience. It's an active, moving faith. And what makes this so incredibly empowering is recognizing Spirit and God as your constant companions. You are never doing this heavy soul work alone. When you know you've got the cosmos backing you up, when you know universal energy is right there with you, courage just becomes the natural, effortless byproduct of your faith. As we wrap up this explainer on spiritual energetics, I want you to just take a moment to reflect. We've covered how the soul communicates through our emotions, the science and spirit of energetic alignment, and the absolute necessity of owning our choices. The blueprint for sacred wholeness is laid out right in front of us, so beautifully articulated by Reverend Mahala. The universal energy is there, the constant companionship of spirit is there. Honestly, the only variable left in the equation is your choice. So I'll leave you with this pivotal question to ask yourself today. Is your soul ready to say, I am ready to grow?